Welcome to the Autosportradio.com 2021 show. I am your host, Don Kay. We are, as always, for the last better than a year now at the Grant King Race Shops at 8155 Crawfordsville Road. If and when the world opens up, you got to come down here. This is a working museum. You will love it. Today's show is presented by Honda and Honda HPD, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, the NTT IndyCar Series, the SVRA, McGilvery's Pub and Eatery in Speedway, and VP Insurance. It's kind of interesting how things work out with the sponsors we have. Fortunately, we have one that takes care of computers because I am typical to be a genius with a computer and I have troubles. So I highly recommend, and a lot of us use Affordable Computer Doctor, and the doctor is Steve Freeze. You can give him a call, tell him your problem. If necessary, he makes a house call. His number is 317-328-0766. And are you a collector of IndyCar things? You got to check out the 500shop.com. That is the 500shop.com. Mike Spangle has all kinds of things, and there's something you're looking for. I'll bet you he's got it. So check it out. A dentist visit is something that people just can't wait to get to. Well, I'll give you one that you can't wait to get to. You will enjoy it. It is the Indy Dental Group. Indy 500 veteran Dr. Jack Miller and his wife, Dr. Liz Lewis, have a spectacular practice. We go there and love it, and people that have gone there said, wow. So if you need dental work, give them a call. Make an appointment. Check it out. The number is 317-846-6125. My friend Mark Dill is a writer, and he's a VP for PR for the SVRA, and he used to be a vice president of marketing at Speedway. He's written a book, The Legend of the First Super Speedway, Battle for the Soul of American Auto Racing. It is spectacular. If you get a chance, you can pre-order the book, or you can order the book online and go to Amazon. You can go to Walmart, you can go to Barnes and Noble. It's available in quite a few places. I just got a copy, and it is really worth looking into. So I highly recommend it. Also, Paul Page's book will be coming out in May, so you might want to pre-order that one and have it ready when Speedway opens, because Paul will have some pens in his pocket. It's called Hello, I'm Paul Page. It's Race Day in Indianapolis. You can order that, again, for Amazon, Barnes and Noble. Get yourself a copy and bring it to the Speedway and get it signed. You ever wonder why these guys and gals like driving Indy cars? Well, there's a way to find out. Take a ride in one yourself in the Indy Racing Experience two-seater. You can go to indyracingexperience.com and find a date where they will be that will work for you, and take a ride. But when you go to indyracingexperience.com and the promo box put DK1, you get a 50% discount, or you can call Sean to at 317-243-7171. Book yourself a ride. You'll love it. I guarantee it. Is it time to renew your home, your car, or your commercial property insurance? Do what most of us have done. Call Mike Pardee at VP Insurance. He's located at 5004 West 16th Street in Speedway. You got a $20 bill coming. I'd like to see that happen, but don't hold your breath.
It's coming. No one I'd rather
give him a call to check out. You find you get better coverage for less money. It's VP Insurance, Mike Pardee, number 317-248-0070. Have you got a vintage car that needs to be restored, or would you like to get one? Well, call the Grant King Shops. They can help you on both fronts. The number is 317-820-3595. And if you have an interest in vintage racing and so forth, and the fact the Trans Am Series is coming back, you need to go to svra.com and subscribe to Speed Tour magazine. There it is. There's your copy right now. And while you're there, go to the schedule and see where an event is going to be that's near you, and I highly recommend go get it. Speed Tour magazine is a top flight magazine, first class. You'll enjoy it. So go to svra.com, subscribe to the magazine, and check the schedule. If you can, go see a race. Now, my smart guy, next guest, or my only guest today, actually, is a guy who's been around. He's done a little bit of everything. He's named after a very well-known gentleman in motorsports and in the food industry by the name of Jonathon Byrd. My guest today is Jonathon Byrd II. And welcome to the program.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. And I get $40. I made you laugh twice there.
Okay.
Thanks for having me, Don. Absolutely. It's an annual tradition, unlike any other now, us getting on to talk to each other. And we're excited about what's upcoming. And I'm excited to talk to you about it.
Well, the interesting thing to me is that your dad was one of the first to succumb to the kernel with the fried chicken. And at 11 years old, you started making biscuits, which I think you probably still can do it. You're probably a professional by now, but you worked your way up through the food business. Your dad built turned out to be the largest cafeteria and banquet facility in the world.
Yeah.
And you've done everything from mopping the floors to taking over the chicken and did everything there.
Yeah.
And strangely enough, I knew your dad. In fact, the last time I talked to him at any length was at the Speedrome, actually. And he said, first off, when he built the cafeteria, people told him he was nuts because at the time there wasn't much out that way.
Right.
He built it anyway, built it huge.
Uh-huh.
And one other thing that he had an affinity for was racing. And you and your brother have taken up both and been involved in both. So you're into racing, your brother's into racing because of his son coming up through the ranks. But what's it like to have been grown up in the food business? I think you still have catering, don't you?
Yeah, we do. And, as my wife would attest, my biscuits are the best. And so we still have Jonathon Byrd's Catering. We're operating out of the 502 East Event Center up in Carmel, Indiana. And so, I'm not as involved as I was back in the day-to-day operations there, but I absolutely, we still have the family business going strong and a fantastic staff of people who take care of that for us. So, but a lot of my days, especially this winter and heading here into the spring, have been dedicated to getting the Speedrome ready for its 80th anniversary season, as well as the launch of the inaugural season of Circle City Raceway here on the southeast side of Indianapolis.
Where, pray tell, I've heard about it, but where is the southeast side?
So southeast side, yeah. So it's funny. It's actually the Marion County Fairgrounds over here at 7300 East Troy, and right between at the intersection of I-74 and I-465. So we've been building since October 1st. The newest dirt track in Indianapolis, and I can't wait to tell you all about it. Here's the logo, the Circle City Raceway logo that you'll see more and more, since we're going to have one of the busiest dirt track schedules ever. And you can go to Sprint Car and Midget Magazine, and I'm the centerfold of this February's edition. So there's a story about the launch and the birth of Circle City Raceway in Sprint Car and Midget Magazine. And so there's just a lot going on with that. But the 80th anniversary season of the Speedrome, we've got a fantastic lineup of racing, and I think people are just they cannot wait. They're just busting at the seams. Can't wait to get to the racetracks here, especially if what we saw in the month of February down in Florida and the huge crowds at all the racetracks, that people are just excited and they just can't wait. And that short track racing is really it's growing leaps and bounds, and the level of excitement and the level of participation, maybe because of what happened with in this country with the pandemic and everything. I don't know, racing seems really, really strong right now. And so excited to talk all about it.
Well, the thing that impressed me the most is for a number of years before you and the owner took over and redid the racetrack, they didn't get much of a crowd. Last year you got fined because you had too many. Which I found
we were one of the few racetracks that ran afoul of the local authorities. But I was just in Florida in February at the Racing Promoters Conference, and I heard some really sad stories of tracks that couldn't open at all. And if they even opened for a race or two, that they could only have competitors, and it's worse than any rainouts or anything like that. They just they could not, they just couldn't open. It's just sad to hear, that in the same state, down the road in a different county, that there's racetracks open and they have full fans. And just because you happen to be in a county, run by people who are more scared of, what was happening than other people who realized that science is, the science was definitely not a factor. And, we're outside. I mean, the racetracks and win, you just can't get it, but just sad to hear, where some people couldn't have it. So unfortunately here in Indianapolis, there's 2 racetracks in Marion County, and one couldn't have a single fan at it. And the other one was restricted on capacity as well. So we were fortunate to have a season, and we started off with no fans, and which really was a great thing in some respect because it helped us launch our Speedrome.tv product. And our Speedrome.tv product has just been able to, the people who couldn't come out to the races or they've always wanted to watch our racing, they were able to watch the racing online. And so we're really excited about some things that are working. I wish I could announce them today with you on what our online platform things are going to be moving forward. But there has been an amazing change and shift in the marketplace in short track racing, where 5 years ago, everybody in that racing promoter's room would have been scared to death to have live racing being broadcast from their racetrack. And now it is being embraced by the industry more and more each day, that you've got to have racing. You've got to be online. You've got to be able to have a different revenue. And there's so many things that open up with the whole online stuff. So I think I strayed from your question, Don, but nonetheless, we've done a lot of stuff. We're here at the Speedrome and made it it's just a place, a showcase for fans and for families to come to, and continually making improvements. Last year, we added a brand new concession restroom building as well, and just served even more and more people at another part of the racetrack. We built a new ticket gate for the first time in 80 years. So that there's 2 entrances into the Speedrome, which is just, kind of funny to think about, that you actually can park and not have to walk, 10,000 miles to get to the entrance of the racetrack. So a lot of just continuing improvements as we lead up to our 80th anniversary in September, and also the 45th running of the World Figure 8 Championship 3-hour endurance race. And everything in between that, we've got a really cool weekend in August where we're going to be hosting a country concert series Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So fans can come out and just and listen to country music and a whole bunch of different musical acts on that weekend. And then we've got a lot of other things going on. We're bringing in the must-see racing 410 wing sprint cars back for the first time in 2 decades. And that'll be racing in early June. The return of the spring shootout 90-minute figure 8 race, and some of the things we're going to be doing, and over the few years that over the next few weeks, that'll be announced on speedrome.com and on our Facebook page at Indianapolis Speedrome, where we're going to have a huge partnership where the goal in the next 4 to 5, 6 years, as we really see this holistic approach happening, is that the sport of figure racing really reaching all 4 corners of the globe. And we're excited about some of the possibilities that are happening because we have such a unique product. We have the most unique racing in the entire world. There's nothing like figure 8 racing the way we do it, the way we have our super unlimited late model wing rocket ships going through the crossover hundreds of times a night. All these cars, these drivers are so brave. It's just fantastic.
Thing that impressed me the first time, I used to go to, I forget where it was in New York that they had the figure 8 race. It was on dirt. Ice slip. Yeah, I went there 2 or 3 times.
Okay.
And it seemed like it was a different race. When I came to the Speedrome, I'm looking at, $35,000-$40,000 cars, and that's not exactly a mile track. And they go through there zip, and they very, very seldom collide. Very seldom. And, it's kind of interesting to watch. The Speedrome is hosted and had some of the best drivers in the world early in the days when that's where 500 drivers came from, the short tracks. And a lot of the biggest names in the business ran there. Do you still run midgets? Midgets get out there at all?
We would love to have midgets. Pavement midget racing, they're starting to, they're trying to relaunch pavement midget racing. And financially right now for us to bring in midgets, I don't think works as well as it may coming up in the future here. But, we are bringing the winged 410 sprint cars, and that's just going to be a different beast altogether. As a racetrack, we want to have unique things, new things, different, exciting, interesting things. And so to bring midgets perhaps back once a year, and, if we can put some stars in those cars and that would draw people out, and to justify the expense that you still have to pay for these, these race cars to come out. I love it. Obviously that's my background. That's where I grew up, with Thursday Night Thunder at the Indianapolis Speedrome, and Rich Vogler driving for my dad and winning championships, which took us to the Indianapolis 500. So obviously, yes, I love to see midget racing back at the Speedrome, and we'll work on that, when opportunities arise, and if we can figure out the way to do that the best way, and the most cost-effective way, while making sure that a big group of people come to watch it. You never know.
You seem to have done what needed to be done to the place to clean it up and make it nice and make it so people want to come back, because they have been coming back. You've been drawing very, very good crowds. I snuck out there one night last year to watch, and I was really astounded, because time before I had been there was plenty of places to sit. When I went out there this time, it wasn't quite as easy as it used to be. So I got to take my hat off to you, which I will do. What you and the owner have done has been spectacular. But, coming from the racing, your dad, if you met him and talked to him, the last thing you'd think that he would get into would be racing. But for some reason or another, he had a huge interest in racing. What prompted that? Why? He had probably the world's greatest collection of Bibles. He had the largest cafeteria in the world, had a lot of chicken to put through there. But what was it about racing that really grabbed his attention, grabbed his interest?
What draws any of us to racing? It definitely, when you are exposed to it, he was brought as a kid to the Speedrome back in the late 50s, early 60s, so, and he started liking that. And then, my grandmother owned stock cars, and took her stock car back in the day to an ARCA race at Daytona. I always kind of keep finding out about family history. So, and then going all the way now to my nephew racing, we've got four generations of racing, and with one finally being someone to actually strap in and try to make a living and a career out of being a race car driver. So, what draws race, what gets us all excited about racing? It's the speed, it's the excitement, it's the smells, it's the pageantry, it's everything that kind of goes along with that. I think that's what attracted my father to the sport of auto racing. He just loved it, and he had goals, and he had ambitions, and he had ideas of what he wanted to succeed at and do. And we accomplished some of those goals. His ultimate goal, winning the 500, just came a little bit short in 1996. We had the best car and the fastest car, and a record that'll never be broken. And that was, something to do. And, we do interesting things now. Interesting is putting together the deal that makes the John Andretti run the first time ever as the first man to do the double in the same day. That's an interesting thing. And so we're my brother's son, my nephew, his Nathan Byrd. He's in 14 different pavement race cars this year. Last weekend, like I said, he was in Sonoma in an F4 car. This weekend, he's racing in the Carolina Pro Late Model Series as a Rick Ware racing development driver. And next weekend and the week after that, he's going to be at Lake Havasu racing a Focus midget. So we're just racing enthusiasts, that's for sure.
Any intention if David has any time to show up here, you guys got any intention of getting an involvement in some sort with the car this year at the Speedway?
There's some opportunities there. Like we may not be able to have the full participation like we have in the past of being there each and every day and making the decisions. So there's still a possibility of working with some folks, but you never know what'll happen. But like I said, we're so busy with racing. I've got 2 racetracks to go. Our first event at Circle City Raceway is May 20th and 21st with our All-Star Circuit of Champions 2-day show with the Winged 410 sprint cars coming to the Marion County for the first time in 3 decades. And then we've got, my nephew racing, forget where he is that weekend. I think he's at Hickory again. And then the week after that, he's doing the carb night stuff with the sprint car and midgets and Silver Crown or whatever. Those racing that he's going to be in a car. And so we've just got a lot going on that's kind of going to divert our full attention from the 500. But, last year, if you'd asked me this time, there was no way we were going to do the 500, and we ended up doing the 500. So you just never know when the right deal comes along and the right business partners come along that want to do the deal, then we're game for it. But we want to do it interesting, and we want to do it in a way that gives us a chance to be in victory lane. And that's what our goals are.
Well, that's what everybody goes there for. And if you're not doing it, one of two things will happen. You'll be disappointed. Number one, your driver could get hurt. Number two, you go to win, put the program together. Now, you have a son, and from what I gather, he is an athlete, but not behind the wheel of a car. He plays baseball.
No, he's full basketball boy right now. And so he just completed his first year of high school basketball. Played a lot on the JV team this year as a freshman. And so next year, we're expecting him to move up to varsity. We're going to be playing AAU ball this summer and to continue to develop and grow. If he's not like me in terms of size, but he's definitely getting taller. And if we can get 2-3 more inches on him going in to be 6 foot into a sophomore year at Greenwood Christian Academy, then we're hoping that helps. And he's infatuated with the sport of basketball, and he's given up baseball. This is the first time in 11 years I won't be coaching baseball in the spring because he wants to devote himself now to basketball.
Well, you do resemble your dad a lot in your size. He was a big man.
Oh yeah,
tall man, a big guy, and so are your brothers is a little pipsqueak in comparison.
I wouldn't call that to his face, Don.
No, I wouldn't. Trust me.
But I'll let him know, and he'll meet you behind the building.
Is he running? I know you had a motel business. Is he still running that?
We're running those. We have 4 hotels in the Goodyear area, Phoenix area on the west side of Phoenix. So, just like a lot of the service industries, we've suffered some losses during the pandemic, but we've learned how to get leaner and meaner and to be able to keep folks employed and be able to try to still run the businesses. So been fortunate with that, and that haven't returned anything close to our pre-pandemic levels. Now it's spring training, at least, is getting ready to start, and there will be fans well, it has started. I guess they're playing baseball now. So that's been good.
How's your mother doing? What's she up to these days?
Well, thanks for asking. I appreciate it. She's doing good. She does a lot of puzzles, and she hangs out with her brothers and sisters. She's the youngest of 5. And so she's still, she likes to be close to her family, and we get to do stuff together. And she's actually heading to Phoenix here, I think, in a few days. So she's going to spend another week in Phoenix here. So her and her sister are going out to Phoenix.
Well, listen, if you need a place to stay, let me know. I can probably hook you up. I might know somebody. Of course, if you tell him I said he's a pipsqueak, that'll end that idea. It's interesting, the diversity of the two of you, although racing is a huge part of it. Food is still in the mix. Does Jonathon Byrd still supply the food for the speedrome?
In some way, in the sense that I brought my 40 years of restaurant experience to both racetracks, and so what I've done is just kind of inject the same philosophy of great food, high quality, speed of service, fantastic and friendly service, and brought those qualities and philosophies to what we do here at the speed room. So you're going to have the best burgers, you're going to have the best hot dogs, you're going to have the best chicken, you're going to have the best French fries, you're going to have the best nachos, you're going to have the best pretzels. You're going to have it served really fast. And so, it may not be meatloaf and chicken noodles and turkey pot pies, but you're still going to get the spirit of what my dad instilled in me over the past 4 or 5 decades, and be able to have, and I pass that on and to all the workers here, and those are the things that make the most sense. We want to have the best concessions, we have the best prices, and of any arena here in town, that you're going to have a great family night. You're going to be affordable. You don't have to pay to park. You've got a lot of fantastic opportunities that come out, and there's nothing else you can do. You can't really go to movies hardly. You can't go to concerts unless concerts open up. You can go to the racetrack and have fun on a Friday or Saturday night, or even a Thursday night when we open up Circle City Raceway. So a lot of that spirit of Jonathon Byrd is where you reside, that resides here at the Speedrome.
Well, I got to think, and I thought about this as I watched what you and your brother are doing, that your dad would be proud of what you've done, how you've done it, the way you've done it, how you've kept his name alive and haven't shamed it in any way. Because I've heard many people say, hell, the food is as good now as it was when his dad had it, and he had the best around. So I think he's got to be looking down and saying, them boys doing good.
Well, I appreciate that. And there's some talk about that in this article on Sprint Car Midget Magazine as well. So, it's an interesting question to think about what would be happening if Dad was still around. But I'd like to. It's definitely a great thought that he'd be proud of what we're doing here.
The event you said you're having at Circle City, is that one of the Tony Stewart series?
Yeah, that's the All-Star Circuit of Champions. So
cool.
Tony owns that. He also owns the TQ Midgets here in Indiana. So we'll have the TQ Midgets running one of those nights along. That's the Friday night show. The Thursday night is the 305 Indiana Race Savers racing along with us. So we've got two great series, two nights of racing with two different divisions running. But the first time wing sprint cars in the state of in the city of Indianapolis in 3 decades, and a history of what is going to be doing. And what we're doing at Circle City is definitely this past summer, I watched a lot of racing online, of course. I mean, that's basically what you could do. And I just really started paying attention to the dirt racing and knowing what we were going to be ready to do with Circle City Raceway. And I just saw how much 410 racing is, how prevalent it is around the country. And I understand that Indiana is a non-wing state, but there's a void in the marketplace. And I didn't want to really step on toes of 14 different racetracks in Indiana running non-wing sprint cars. So let me do something different on a different night and see if they'll come. And I think they are. It's been well received. And so we have 9 winged 410 races next year. We also have the ASCS National Tour coming east. And so we'll have the ASCS 360s coming through on a couple nights in July as well. We've got the World of Outlaw late models coming. We have an Indiana Midget Week race on June the 6th, and that's or June the 9th. That's the John Andretti Memorial Double. When we're benefiting the Race for Riley, and the MSCS non-wing sprint cars are coming. And then during the Marion County Fair, from June 25th to July 4th, I'm running 10 straight nights of racing. So, and we've got more and more things being added. It seems like daily. I don't know how we're going to do it, but I'm excited. I've been telling everybody that I've been in the elephant eating mode, and the only way you can eat an elephant is one bite at a time. So I just continue just eating one bite at a time of this elephant to get this track ready and to get both tracks ready to go, and to just give the best dirt racing for the folks here in Central Indiana, so they don't have to drive an hour and a half to go to their favorite track. Support those tracks. We want you to support those tracks. We're running different nights, and we're bringing different things, and there's always something new and exciting that you don't want to miss when you come out to Circle City Raceway.
How is your Everyman Victory nonprofit doing? Is that built into your 2 track events?
That's gone in a little bit different direction. I was able to lend my not-for-profit to an organization that we support. And so one of the businesses we're invested in is an app called Signing Day. And Signing Day is a way for prospective high school students and a way to reach out to colleges with their different abilities, whether it's football, basketball, soccer, baseball. It's as the app's being developed, more sports, but baseball is really interested in what we're doing. And so we had a great opportunity to convert Everyman Victory to become the Signing Day Sports Foundation. And so Major League Baseball is very interested in what we're doing with that. So, we're helping. My whole point was with Everyman Victory was to honor my dad's legacy of bearing others' burdens. And with what we're doing with Signing Day Sports Foundation, we're going to give opportunities to people who couldn't be able to maybe have access and exposure to bigger colleges and get scholarships and et cetera. So all that stuff is really exciting. So I appreciate you asking about that. We've done a lot of great stuff over the years with Everyman Victory, and it will continue on doing this for the different sports and different avenues that we're going to be providing that way.
Well, I would discuss with you my signing up for it, but athletics now is a thing in my mind in the past. But you have anything for mental geniuses like me?
Well, I'm starting Mensa Racers for Mensa, and you could be the charter member if you'd like, Don. Just send $20 to care of Circle City Raceway, Indianapolis, Indiana 46239.
It's on its way. I'm looking forward now. People want to prepay tickets, buy tickets ahead of time. How do they do that? Where do they go to find for both facilities?
Well, definitely what we're doing at Circle City Raceway, you can definitely buy tickets online. We're a member of the My Race Pass network of racetracks. So all of those tickets are available online right now. You can go to circlecityraceway.com, click on the schedule tab, and then you can click on the events, any event you want to, and buy those tickets ahead of time. And those will be available. Those are available now. You can go online. Speedrome, best way to do is still just come up on a Saturday night. You decide to come. We'll always have tickets available. We'll get you in. And as we work our way to September 11th and the 45th annual World Figure Eight Championship 3-hour endurance race presented by Gladiator Roofing and Restoration.
Wow. Well, I'll tell you what, it's interesting to talk to you. I appreciate you taking the time.
Yes, sir.
And if you can avoid it, tell David I said hello, but don't tell him I said compared to you, he's a pipsqueaker. I won't get any deals when I go to Phoenix.
Very good, sir.
All right. Thanks for your time. Good luck for the season. And with any luck, I'm going to pop in once or twice to watch particularly your new dirt track. That should be interesting to see, and I hope everything goes well.
Well, absolutely. Thank you, Don. It's a pleasure. Love to have you out.
I will try and stop by.
All right.
Our guest is Jonathon Byrd II. He is the president and general manager of the Speedrome, and he is behind the new Circle City Speedway out at Marion County Fairgrounds, a dirt track, and it's going to be plenty of racing in that area of town all summer long. So check it out. He just told you how to get tickets, buy them ahead of time so you get in. We have some programs looking at for next week, so stick with us. We appreciate you watching and listening, and hope you'll continue following us. Until next time, this is Don K saying, until we see you then, goodbye.